Coming up on the Paranormal Report, did NASA cut some UFO footage from its live stream?
Program in the Space Shuttle Atlantis. And a couple of people sent us this footage, commented on our Facebook page, said, hey guys, take a look at this. This is some live tape from NASA, live broadcast, showing the exterior of the shuttle, and you'll see something very mysterious, and then something very strange happens, Clayton, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe we should just watch this as it happened. How about that? We'll break away here for about 10 seconds, and maybe you won't catch it, but just watch this as it was being broadcast on NASA's television stream. Take a look.
The current altitude 185 miles.
Okay, did you notice anything? As they're talking and describing their rotation and where they are, they suddenly, as you see two interesting orbs or something move out of the frame. One blinks on, one blinks off, and one is moving the opposite direction. They suddenly cut away from that shot back to the control booth.
Take camera two. Take camera two.
Back to ground control. Now, look, you know, it could have just been a coincidence. And NASA, if you've ever watched the NASA channel, you know that they rotate those shots all the time. And, you know, they just rotate among all of these different shots on a rotating basis so that people don't fall asleep, because it can be kind of boring sitting there watching that stuff for that amount of time. But it is interesting that suddenly, as we're starting to see some weird debris or something moving out in space, they cut away from it.
Yeah, and actually Sheilaaliens, who posted this on YouTube, they actually did some nice work here and did some zooming at about 47, 48 seconds in. We'll put some of that up, and then they do a kind of a negative image of it, and you can clearly see there are two orbs there. The one disappears. Now the question is, what is that? Is it space junk? Is it just something on the lens? The only thing that kind of gives me pause, I would say space junk right away. But the fact that one actually, I mean, they disappear. That's what's weird. Is the fact that they're there and they just disappear.
You know, the problem that I have, and I'm, you know, as a huge space fan, and I've heard this before, you know, the problem with space junk as a, you know, as an example is that that would be very close to the craft if that were the case. And very often when they're in orbit, they've made sure that they're in an orbit that's well away from this
debris.
junk. So maybe not junk per se, and it could be a satellite. It could be, you know, it could be a satellite, not junk at all, because I think space junk is so small that for it to be that close, they have an accounting of everything that's up there. So, you know, it makes it difficult for them on launch days. They have to try to coordinate the launching so that they're not actually running into this crap.
Yeah, and actually Area 51, that book that we keep talking about, you know, they talk about some of the experiments and with shooting down satellites are happening now that they're going to fill space with junk. But I don't know, Clayton. I think this one deserves more investigation. Very, very suspicious.
Yeah, interesting. And I you know, it's funny. I was watching a guy just yawn here on the video and it made me yawn.